Hey everyone, it's Mr. Lukanoff, the assistant principal and the activities director here at Atchison Middle School. I'm making a quick video because I want to review some information with our parents and with our students as our winter sports are beginning. So, winter sports, once again, are going to be girls basketball, wrestling for both boys and girls, and then cheer for the winter time. So, as I kind of go through this, I've created a little bit of an outline, and I want to make sure that I review as much information with you to try and answer any questions that you might have. So we'll just kind of get started. So the first thing I always like to go over anytime I meet or share information with parents is really the purpose of middle school athletics. For me, as the activities director, our goal here at this middle school is to promote fundamentals, is to promote knowing rules of the game, really trying to make our students as well-rounded as we possibly can. So we're going to focus in on how to be a good person, a good teammate, a good leader. Those are all things that are super, super important to middle school athletics so that when we progress to the next level in high school, we are better able to assist our teams and compete for state championships. Here at the middle school level, the focus for us is going to be fundamentals, really knowing the game, learning the rules of the game, and then finally to be able to kind of develop the person into a good leader, a good teammate, a good person. So the way that we do that is through our second item there, and that's the Acacia sportsmanship rule. You can see A through F. These are the things that we're going to hold our student athletes accountable for, but we're also going to hold our coaches accountable to this, our parents, our fans, our administrators. Everyone that has a part in athletics is really going to have a role in making sure that good sportsmanship is the only sportsmanship that we're bringing to the table, because we want people to have a great feeling about Atchison and Atchison Middle School and our athletics program. And the way we do that is really by kind of living out those sportsmanship ideals. So being courteous to all, knowing the rules and respecting officials and their decisions, whether we agree with them or not, winning with character and losing with dignity, displaying an appreciation for good performance regardless of the team. We obviously exercise self-control and controlling our own emotions and not letting our emotions get the best of us. And then finally, that we're only going to permit positive sportsmanlike behavior. And anything against that, is going to be grounds for us to make a correction, because, like I said, we want to have a great we want folks to have a great feeling about Atchison Middle School and Atchison Middle School athletics. And the way that we do that is through good sportsmanship. The third thing that we're going to talk about is academic eligibility. So, our student athletes are just what they are, student athletes. And so the student aspect of things is going to come first. The way that students stay eligible is they have to have fewer than two Fs. So essentially, two is kind of the maximum. So you're allowed to have one F and still be academically eligible to play sports. The second that you have two failing grades, those two failing grades, then you will be put on a 1 week probationary period in which you will be able to improve that one of those Fs up to a passing grade. Okay. During that probationary week, you can still practice, you can still play in games, but if the following week you still have two Fs, you'll be ineligible until you get one of those Fs up. So you'll see something highlighted there under number 3, and this is something that we changed. So students deemed ineligible for the week have the opportunity to regain immediate eligibility by getting a signed note from their instructor that they are no longer failing or have gotten their grade raised. So our old policy was you were out for the entire week. Now it allows you to get eligibility back as soon as you get a passing grade, which is really exciting and hopefully should entice our student athletes to keep their grades up. And if they do happen to be in a situation where they have an F, let's work hard and get it up, and then let's get back out there and play and participate. If for some reason we have someone who is kind of on the needs improvement list, often, and is somebody that is continually missing because they are ineligible, then we may look to dismiss them from the team. Okay. Okay, now it's on to the parts where parents and students and you guys are going to kind of have to get a few things done in order to be able to participate. So, um, The first thing that will need to happen, there's three things that need to happen before you can participate in sports. The first of which is filling out our online consent forms, our required forms. So they're under A. All of those forms can be found right there. You'll create an account, or you will log into an account that you already had from last year if you're an eighth grader. Okay, and you'll go through and you'll sign all those out and you'll submit those. Okay. The second thing is you will need to have a physical. It will need to be turned to the office. It has to be signed off by a physician saying that you are well enough to be able to participate in sports. Okay. And then the last thing that you may or may not need, depending on if you've played a sport already this year, or if you are, an eighth grader maybe who didn't play any sports last year, is you will need an impact test. That impact test is scheduled through the school. We will handle that. Normally, what we've done is on Mondays and Thursdays, we schedule impact tests. We really want to get those completed as quickly as possible. So we already have a few lists of folks who are taking them. If you need one, we will know that and we will be able to get you one. Okay. Number 5 is our activity fee. We do assess an activity fee for involvement in activities. It is a $30 fee. That fee is a max of 2 per year. So if you have already played football and you're going to do wrestling, then you've paid your $60 and you're done for the year. You can play as many sports after that and not have to pay a fee. So something that will be a little bit different is that if that fee is not paid, your student athlete will not be issued a uniform and will not participate in any games until those fees are paid through the AMS office. Okay, it's super important that we get those. That way we can provide services and uniforms and things like that as we progress. And so that activity fee will need to be paid before they are able to participate. Our ladies in the office will be happy to help you out with that. Okay. 6 is transportation. So wrestling will be transported every day via school bus to practice because they practice over at the high school. And so the pickup for wrestling will be at Atchison High School. It will not be at the middle school. Okay. Girls basketball and cheer, they will practice here at the middle school, and the pickup for them from practice will be here. Okay. As we get closer to events and we have games, competitions, things like that, just know that, the expectation is that your student will ride the bus to and from the event. However, if you do wish to take your student home after, we just ask that you please alert the office prior to that so we can alert the coaches and let them know that they will be going home with you. Okay. Our schedules. So our schedules are relatively set. We've got a pretty decent schedule for all of our sports, for basketball, for wrestling, and for cheer. Those are obviously subject to change. We live in a situation that's super flexible, so we may have changes. We may have game flip-flops. We may add a game. We may lose a game, and we do apologize for that, but that unfortunately is just kind of the world we're living in right now. We will send updates about games on our social media through our textcaster. So you'll get text messages, emails whenever something like that changes. Okay. Your coaches are also going to have some sort of communication with you, whether it's a Remind group or a Google Classroom, something along those lines. So they'll send that information home as soon as they possibly can. Okay. A couple important dates for you. Impact tests will be scheduled on Mondays and Thursdays at AMS. The first one is going to happen today, October 14th. We will then offer those again next week on next Thursday because we're not in school on Monday. And so we'll continue to offer those so we can get students to practice. And then the first day of practice will be October 19th, which is next Tuesday. So this is coming really, really quickly. Okay. Coaches are meeting with prospective student athletes this week. And are sending information home. So if you have any questions like that, do not hesitate to contact the coach or the middle school, and we can obviously help you with that. The last day I want to let you know about, November 5th, is going to be Sports Picture Day. So that's when pictures will be taken for the fall the fall set of seasons, and so we will already actually have a couple games in by then. Especially for I think for basketball and for wrestling and cheer, we'll at least have one competition in. So that'll be good. If you need help with access to the online forums, I put the link up above. If you really are struggling and you don't know what to do, don't hesitate to call us. We do this stuff all the time. We help folks all the time. Please don't hesitate to do that. Okay. And then the last thing I want to talk just briefly about is our COVID protocols. So because we have indoor sports, girls basketball, wrestling, cheer, those are all indoor sports. Indoor spectators will be required to wear a mask at this time inside our gym. So anytime that we have home games, you will have to wear a mask. We will provide some at the front near the admission table. We ask that you wear those, wear them appropriately. And then after you exit our building, feel free to take those off. It will be a week by week basis as to what other schools do. Some schools are requiring them in their buildings, others are not. We will pass out that information to you as soon as we have it. Okay. And then just a side note, this doesn't necessarily affect parents, but students will wear their masks on transportation just like they do here to school. So that's not really a change, but that's just something for you to be aware of. So I'm going to send this PDF out to everyone today, but I wanted to make a quick video, go through it. Once again, if you have any questions whatsoever, you don't understand something, you can't figure something out, we are here to help. Please, please, please call up to the middle school and tell us, and we would love to help you. And we want as many students as we can to get to get started and participate in our winter sports. So once again, if there's anything we can do for you, don't hesitate to contact us. And thank you.